Hey, what's up, good people? It's Goldie here with Loxitude, and I'm just coming on with a little end of year tip because we are currently in what I consider to be install season. You have a mad dash for people trying to get their locks installed or established, as the brand calls it. As they near the end of the year, going into tax season, people have a little money to spare and they're ready to get their hair locked. And with that comes a lot of things that we typically see as people who've been in the lock business for a while. We see certain behaviors and certain trends at certain times a year. So most of us have very full books right now, or we're filling up our books with our last couple of appointments. But I just wanted to speak a little bit specifically to clients, potential clients out there who are searching for that perfect person to install their locks. And it's a couple things that I think people need to be aware of, because these same people, if they don't pay attention to some of these things, they will be posting horror stories about their experience and how terrible some of these locticians are out here, when some of the issue may actually be the clients and what they failed to do before they got their locks installed. So I'm just going to speak just real talk, take it or leave it. My books are closed, so it doesn't even apply to me because I'm not accepting people right now. But I know that people are on the hunt, and I see this every year. So first and foremost, when you want to get Microlocs, Sisterlocks installed, you have to plan ahead. You contacting a consultant, a loctician, the day before you want to get your hair locked, or on a Monday and you want your hair locked on Saturday, if the person is established and they're good at what they do, it's very likely that they will probably laugh you off the phone, or may not even respond to your inquiry, because this is just not a service that you just walk in, unless you were just lucky and you stumble across a day where someone had a cancellation. But it is rare that you are going to be able to just call someone up and get your hair done within a couple of days. Whether you're doing, especially if you're getting the branded locks, because there's a certain amount of time you're supposed to wait between your consultation and your actual install. With Microlocks, you don't have that requirement, but it's just, this is a lengthy service. We're talking hours on top of hours of a service. So it's likely that most of us do not have appointments just sitting and waiting for you to come and get that appointment. So you need to be mindful of that. Plan ahead. If you're trying to get your locks put in and you're not even willing to go sit down and do a proper consultation with the person, or they're telling you, yeah, come on, I can do it for you, and they ain't offered to do not a piece of a consultation, you should be concerned about that. Okay. Anyone that's going to sit and work in your hair for over 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and they don't feel like they need to talk to you before they put all these locks in your hair, you might want to run. Okay. I don't know too many professionals that's even willing to do that, because one, you're assessing what they're going to do, but they also are assessing you as a good fit as a customer. So if they're just telling you to come on, my guess is they probably just want that money. And you're going to be one of those people I talked about earlier that's on, talking about how messed up your hair is and you're ready to cut your hair off and start over. So plan ahead. Typically, you could be 2 weeks to a month or more waiting to get in someone's chair. So if you know that you got tax money coming and you're putting that money aside and you're planning for it, now is probably the time for you to be reaching out to someone to set up a consultation so you can get on their books for, a month or two down the line. That's just my suggestion. Okay, the other thing is, cheaper is not always better, but it's also not always worse. Okay. you have to do your research in this field. There is so much information out here available for people that there really is no reason for people to be getting scammed out of their money. I don't get that at this day and age with all this information out here. People have active pages on social media. They have references. Check their work. Okay, if you're going to try to save some money and then you go to, Sally Sue around the corner who just basically saw a couple videos on YouTube and now all of a sudden she calls herself a loctician, hey, you get what you get. Okay, and you need to be mindful of that. Again, hours on hours in your head, that's not something you want to be trusting hundreds and hundreds of dollars to somebody that just, kind of said they watched the video and figured out a couple things. And then when you find out after the fact that, oh, they didn't know what they were doing. So just be mindful of what you're doing when you're trying to save money, because what ends up happening is you save money because you didn't want to deal with the price of a professional. But then you somehow end up in the professional's chair anyway, wanting them to fix what somebody messed up because you tried to get it cheaper. So you probably would be better off just saving your money, going through the process, and waiting. If there's someone that you really want to do your hair, going through their process to get on their books. Now, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. But again, you get what you get. Okay, and if you're rushing and trying to speed the process along, you get what comes with that. Now, one of the things that happens, you get people, oh, I want to make sure I have over 600 locks. Why? If you want a gazillion locks in your hair, just understand what the outcome will be later on. Don't just look at what's in your face today and, oh, it looks so pretty today. Think about the longevity and the health of your hair. Most of the professionals that I rock with, they're not going to put a gazillion locks in your hair. That it's just not healthy. It's not good practice. But you have people that, hey, if that's what you want as a customer, they're going to give it to you, even though they know that's not what's best for your hair in the long run. And so what ends up happening is you go and get all these locks, and then that person doesn't want to fool with you because they don't want to be responsible for the maintenance of your hair with all these excessive locks. And now you're complaining because you can't get in anybody's chair as a transfer. So think about these things. Don't just think about getting the actual install. Think about what the maintenance actually will be like when it's time to get retightenings, the cost, the time that you're going to invest in it. Also, twist locks is a quick alternative. A lot of people start out with the 2-strand twist, but you also need to understand how those locks are going to transition. Okay, when you start out with twist locks, yeah, they're pretty when they first start out, but what is that maintenance going to look like to be able to make sure they don't just puff up and look like a hot mess and unravel on the ends? You have to make sure that you're finding professionals that can do more than just rotations, and they can do more than just, do a couple little twists or whatever and make it look good on the day of. But then when it's time for the maintenance, they have no clue what to do for your hair to help it look the way that you envision for it to look. So again, this is just my insight, okay, as someone that's been in the business for a while, that have seen people come and go, people wanting to be in your chair, and it's like, no, I don't have room. You got to think about these things. This is a permanent choice to put locks in your hair. So it's not something you want to just kind of make a decision just because you're sitting here and you're bored today and you want locks today. That's not good for your hair. So you've got a lot of people out here that are giving good education about the process, and their work speaks for itself. We're trying to help you save some money. Saving money in the beginning, yeah, you may get a cheap install, but then what difference does that make if you have to go out here and pay someone to fix a bunch of mistakes that someone made? So just save your money, go through the process, take the time, respect the craft of the people that are doing it, and get it done right so that you get what you pay for. Again, that's just me coming on with a little tip here, because this is the time of year where people are clowning about getting their hair done. And I'm just telling you, save your money, watch your money, because there's people out here ready to take your money. If you ready to part with it, they ready to take it from you. So just be mindful of that.